Is that it's starting. We are going live. I'm so excited. Going for gold. I'm excited to have everybody jump on tonight. We're just excited to be with you. We've got some amazing things lined up, and I'm ready. I've got my notebook and my pen, and I'm ready to take some notes as well. So we're just excited to be with you. We've got some amazing things lined up. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing feedback. Okay, I think we've got that taken care of now. Okay. Hey guys, Stacy Hodge here, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I am super excited. We've got an amazing lineup for you guys tonight. We're going to inspire you and motivate you and give you hopefully some inspiration that you need to take your business to all new heights. I couldn't be more proud of the ladies and one gentleman that I have lined up, or that we have lined up, and we're just ready to pour into you as much as we possibly can. I want to start off by saying that this training is brought to you by independent Plexus ambassadors and is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. We've got a power-packed hour for you tonight. I hope that you've got a pen and a piece of paper and that you're ready to write some notes. We've got some amazing, amazing gems that we're going to give to you tonight. We're going to start this off. I don't want to waste any of your time. We've got so much we want to give you, so we're just going to jump right in here. Our very first presenter tonight is Diamond Ambassador Kelly Norman.
Unmute, Kelly.
Unmute.
Let's try that again.
There you go.
We good? Woohoo, all right.
Gotcha.
Well, hey guys, my name is Kelly Norman, and I am so excited to talk to you about mindset. So we're going to take about the next 8 minutes and talk about how important your mindset is in this business. So I'm sure that I'm talking to so many ambassadors that say, I want to grow a team.
I'm ready. I've got my notebook and my pen, and I'm ready to take some notes as well. So we're just excited to be with you. We've got some amazing things lined up. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing feedback.
Oh, we are. We're hearing that.
Kelly, can I hear you? Taken care of now. Okay. Hey guys, Stacy Hodge here, Emerald Ambassador with Sorry, y'all. I'm not sure what's going on. I am super excited. We've got an amazing lineup for you guys tonight. We're going to inspire you and motivate you and give you.
Okay.
Take it away, Kelly.
All right, wonderful. So I'm talking to so many ambassadors out here that say, Kelly, I want to
start off by saying that this training is brought to you by independent.
All right, can I start again?
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to rock and roll. So the topic that I have tonight to talk to you about is mindset. And like I said, there's so many ambassadors that are out there and they're saying, I want to grow my team. But listen, mindset is so important because you're wanting to go along with you, right, on this journey. And so as you're wanting people to go along with you, people aren't going to go along with you if they can't get along with you. So that's a powerful word. And our mindset is so important to what we attract and even the quality of life that we have. So I'm going to jump in and share a few things. If you've heard me speak before, you've heard some of these things, but we all need to be reminded over it. So there's a proverb and it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So your thoughts are so very important. Your mindset is so important because it determines who you are. And people follow you, people will join you in Plexus more so for who you are than what you have to offer them. So it is so important that you work on you. So I'm going to ask you, do you know how many thoughts that we have a day? About 30 to 50,000 thoughts a day. Wow. So if we have 30 to 50,000 thoughts a day, I would have to say that really we're our biggest influencer, right? Our thoughts and our mindset are influencing who we are. So I would say you are either your very best friend, you are your biggest cheerleader, or guys, you may be your worst enemy. And so many times I tell people is if I talk to you the way that you talk to yourself, we probably wouldn't be friends. It's probably true, isn't it? If I said the things to you that you say to yourself, we wouldn't be friends. So let's take a look at what we're saying to ourselves, and let's identify, are we our biggest cheerleader or our worst enemy? You know, there's so much scientific information, and I can't get into all that tonight, but guys, positive thoughts release endorphins in your body. They produce health. Negative thoughts are going to release toxins. And I believe that negative thinking is so much a result of illnesses even today. And nobody wants to be around somebody that's negative. Nobody wants to be around somebody that is always having that stinking thinking and that negative mindset. So let's go back. Your thoughts determine your beliefs. Your beliefs determine your emotions, your feelings, and your emotions and your feelings determine your actions. So therefore, a thought will determine your actions. And what is your actions? Your actions are who you are. It makes up your life. So I just bring all this to say of the uttermost importance of a thought and what you're thinking. But I have some good news for you. And the good news is you can control your thoughts. You can control your mind. Your mind should not be controlling you. Your thoughts should not control you, but you should be controlling your thoughts, and you have a choice, and you can do that. And I'm going to share a few tips with you tonight that I think can change your life. You see, I believe that this topic is the foundation of everything you're going to learn tonight, because if you don't get this right, then it's not on a solid foundation. It's not on a place where you can build that business and be able to affect thousands and thousands of people's lives. So the word I want to throw out to you is intentional, because you can all sit there with me and you can all say, yes, Kelly, you're so right. Amen. I believe that. But if you are not intentional to examining and applying the things that I have to say to you tonight, then I believe that you're not going to be able to make that transformation. Okay, so intentional. Let's talk about that for a second. When I was around 17 years old, I bought a Chrysler LeBaron convertible. It was white, okay? And I was so proud of this car. And I thought I was the only, now I've lived in the town I live in my whole life. And I thought I was the only person that had a white LeBaron convertible. And I got behind the wheels of this car, and I'm driving down the road, and I start looking around, and guess what? I see other white cars that are just like mine, white convertibles. Make sure you guys are muted out there for our speakers. So I'm looking around. So why is that? Because that's what I was thinking. That was what I was intentional about. That was what was on the front of my mind. And so boom, I had lived here my whole life and never saw another car like I had. I know that you can shake your head and you can say, yes, I bought a car, and then all of a sudden the whole town was full of them. The same thing happened with, I was doing some landscaping, and there was a certain tree that I wanted because I saw it in a picture. So I was looking to buy it, and I'm driving through town, and it's like, oh my goodness, this tree's everywhere. So it was because what I was thinking. So I'm telling you, if you will put what am I thinking on the forefront of your brain, and you will be intentional about it, then you will you're going to walk through your day and you're going to go, oh my gosh, that was a negative thought. That was untruth. That was toxic. That doesn't belong here. And that leads me in to, you've got to be, life is a game. Your thought process is a game. And in a basketball game, there's an offense and there's a defense. And I believe that we can carry that into our mindset. And so I want to talk to you really quickly. I just have a few minutes left about being on the defense of your mind. So being on the defense, you're going to capture thoughts that do not line up with the truth. And then you're going to throw that thought away if it is not the truth. And then you're going to replace it with the truth. Now, guys, I could talk to you all day long, literally, on this topic. So I'm just going to throw the highlights out here to you right now. And so examine your thought life. If it is not true, now remember this, something could be true, but it's not the truth. What is your truth? You need to know your inner truth. Who are you? And you need to be able to stand up on those. So we're going to capture the thoughts that are negative, that are not the truth. We're going to throw them out, and then we're going to replace them. Now, that's the defense. On the offense, you're going to start some affirmations. You're going to replace those negative things with the positive things. You're going to be speaking who you are, who your team is, your business is. Every single day, speak life, because your words attract, guys, and it will transform your thinking. So affirmation, so important. And what are you reading? You've got to be programming your mind. You see, if you are not on the offense to renew your mind, the world will conform your mind into something that is something that you don't want it to be. So who do you want to be? Transform your mind with the word and with reading. Who are you hanging out with? Examine your friends. Examine who you spend time with, because that programs your brain. You know, people and circumstances are the major things that I think affects our mindset. And I want to leave you with a couple of tips that I think are gold. Number one, you might want to write these down. You are only responsible for you. There's so much freedom in that statement right there, guys. You can't be responsible for your husband. You can't be responsible really for your kids, especially after they turn teenagers. You know, you may have some 3 or 4-year-olds out there, and trust me, one day you'll understand what I'm saying. But truly, you are only responsible for you. And when you understand that you're responsible for you, then other people's actions are not so loud in your life. Be a responder, not a reactor. Be a responder. I can talk for hours on that one too. But be somebody that responds. You keep your power. You stay powerful when you respond, and you give up your power when you react. Number 2, learn to separate the person that is offending you from the offense. Learn to separate the person from the offense. And I believe that's going to help your mindset. I'm talking a lot about people right here, because a lot of our negative mindset comes from other people. And if you can learn to separate that offense from the person, it's going to help you. Now, I have a mentorship call twice a month. And this last mentorship call, we talked on the 4 pillars of drama. And one of those pillars I'm going to bring out to you, and that is to seek noble intent with people. This is something that has transformed me, is that no matter who I'm in front of, no matter how they're acting, then I'm going to always assume noble intent in that person. It changes my whole outlook on life. I'm telling you, those few things I just told you, you're only responsible for you. Learn to separate the person from the offense, and then determine to see noble intent in everyone. The last one, determine, guys, that you're going to be thankful. Just determine to be thankful. Intentionally be thankful for everything in your life. An attitude of gratitude will radically change your life, I promise you. And these are all things that are going to help you protect your mind, keep a positive mindset. And I'm going to end up with this, because we got lots of gold in this, lots of wonderful things that they have to bring you. I'm gonna bring you this. A mindset is so important for this business. Stay with me here. For you to be successful in this business, you need to have a positive mindset. But I'm going to take it further than that, because I can't leave here without saying this. I hope you excel in your business. I truly do. But more than that, I hope that you become a better wife, a better husband, a better spouse, a better parent. Because you see, you're leaving a legacy. Your mindset will affect the legacy that you leave and that you pass on to your children, your children, your children. And this is how that you live beyond yourself, is to change your mindset, and you will positively change the world and leave a legacy that will live beyond you. All right, I'm so excited to hear some more, and I'm going to hand it over to Dawn Zomermaand.
Thank you, Kelly. That was very good. Hopefully this switches over here. We'll see. Maybe it did already. Can't tell. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. Kelly introduced me just briefly. I'm Dawn Zomermaand. I'm an Emerald Ambassador from the dinky little state of Iowa, putting Iowa on the map. And I chose the topic tonight of pushing past our fears. I chose this topic for a specific reason, and I'll get back to that in just a second. But I wanted to, first of all, congratulate everybody who's on this call. Everybody who took time out of their nights to sit here and to listen to us and to listen to what we have to share. I would say that whether you're going for silver, whether you're going for gold, sorry, I have a head cold, whether you're going, you're on this call just to gain some wisdom, I just want to say thank you for coming on the call. I think that going for gold is probably one of the hardest levels to actually reach. You don't have a huge team behind you yet. Many of the people who are going for gold are signing the 20 ambassadors themselves. And I just want to congratulate you for, striving for that goal if that's why you're on here tonight. So anyway, I want to start by saying, when we talk in Plexus, we talk about the 3 beliefs that you need to have. You need to believe in the products, believe in the business and the company, and believe in yourself. Tonight, I'm going to talk just a little bit about believing in yourself. I feel like once you believe in yourself, the other 2 will follow. You'll be taking the products, come on its own. The belief in the business, attending events, doing things like that, that will come on its own. But believing in yourself is the hard thing. Most of us know that. I got to tell you a little bit about my story very briefly so that you understand where I'm coming from and why I chose this topic tonight. 2.5 years ago, before I joined Plexus, I was basically housebound. I was basically trapped in my house. Anything with a social event, I would find an excuse not to attend. I was locked in a prison that was my own mind. And I knew it was irrational, but knowing it was irrational didn't help me get past that. Plexus not only healed my body, I didn't say cured, I said healed, but it also did something that I never expected. It helped me push past some of the fears that I had before I took Plexus. And every day I'm still changing who I am now. So I lived in a state of constant fear before Plexus. Fear is normal, but letting fear run your life is not normal. What I know that what we say when we talk to ourselves, when we first start especially, is some things like, what if they say no? What if they hate me? What if people ignore me? What if they think I'm stupid? What if they think Plexus is stupid? What if they think Plexus is a scam? Right? Those are some of the things that we say to ourselves. Like Kelly talked about mindset. That's huge. What I want to say is, what if no one had reached out to you? What if the person who talked to you about Plexus had stayed locked in those fears and hadn't reached out to you? Just something I want you to think about. What we have been given with Plexus is a gift. I want you to see it as a gift, to start to see it as a gift, to see it as a way to bless the people around you. It truly has been a gift for so many people. And when you start seeing it like that, it changes your whole mindset. You need to get out of your own head and you need to start taking action. So what are some practical steps? Tony Robbins is a fabulous author and person, and he gave some steps that I love. The first one is this: find something that scares you more. So you're afraid to push send when you type up that message. Well, what could be worse? Maybe your husband's or your wife's disappointment when you haven't pushed send. When they know that you haven't worked your business, does that scare you more than pushing that little send button? There's always something that's worse out there. It's all relative. Our whole life is relative to what we're basing our fear on. So find something that scares you more and then push that send button. Then he talks about the rocking chair test. The rocking chair test is, imagine yourself when you're 80 years old. You're in the nursing home, or maybe you're at home yet, who knows? And you're sitting in that white rocking chair on your porch and you're looking back over your life. What are you going to regret the most? You know, are you thinking about the things that you didn't do in your business? Do you wish you would have done those things in your business? Do you think it maybe would have been okay to push that send button? You know, I want you to think as if you were in the future. What will you look back on and regret and wish you would have just done? Do it. Just do it. Just take the action and do it. And finally, he says, if you can't get past that mental state, literally change your state. Your motion rules your emotion. Get up, walk around, go for a run, crank some, you know, inspirational music, read a Bible verse, get out of your own head and move and do some action. It's one way to trick your mind into being able to do what you need to do to make this business work. And make your why a must. We talk about your why a lot in Plexus. What drives you? You know, what is driving your business? For me, you know, it's having my husband stay home. Okay, so that's my why. But what if we turn that into a must? My husband must stay home. I must hit diamond. You know, what if we change it into a must? How would that change our mindset? Like what Kelly was talking about. You literally never know what you're capable of until you step past that first fear. So what if instead of saying no, they say yes? What if instead of hating you, they love you? What if instead of ignoring you, they actually listen to you? What if instead of thinking you're stupid, they think you're brilliant? What if instead of thinking Plexus is stupid, they think Plexus changed their life? And what if instead of thinking you've been scammed, they cry when they see their first paycheck? That's what I want to leave you with. And now I get to introduce my awesome upline, Shannon McComber from Oklahoma.
Hey, everybody. I should be clicking over here in just a minute. I think Stacy's going to switch it over. So tonight, my blessed opportunity is to get to talk to you about drawing your line in the sand and making that determination that you are going to do this, that you are going to get to gold. And for me, I want to talk about, there's 3 moments in my Plexus history, I guess, that really defined for me who I was as an ambassador, where I was going to go as an ambassador, and how I was going to get there. And that first moment was convention, 2014. I really didn't care about going to convention. The lady that joined under me, Sarah, she's like, yes, we gotta go. My upline's like, yeah, you need to go. It's worth the money. I was like, I guess I'll go because it's in Dallas and I can drive. And so, you know, I was like, well, okay, so I'll go. And so I went, and here I am. It changed my world. I left convention saying, you know what? This is it. This is the company I want to be with. Because the first 6 months of my business, I had just sat back and was like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. If it works, it's great. If not, yeah, at least I still have the product. But that was my lackadaisical attitude my first 6 months in Plexus. And so when I went to convention, I was like, okay, I have really got to start doing something. And so I determined that I was going to start working that business. But the second defining moment while I was in Dallas is that when you go to convention, there's jewels everywhere, okay? You have like Sarah Marble over here and Celeste Gwynn's over here, and these people, they're all there, and you're like, oh my God, take my picture. And so, but the one that stood out to me the most and it was the night of the dessert reception, was Tammy Elmore, because Tammy was standing off to the side, and she was just standing there eating her dessert. And so I just took it upon myself to walk up to her and start a conversation. Because yeah, I was scared to walk up and talk to these girls, because here I was gold and they were diamonds. And I was like, yes, bless it. But I walked up to Tammy, and if you have never met Tammy Elmore, she is the most humble person that you will ever meet. She is a sweetheart, a darling, and she took the time to stand there and talk to me. We probably stood there and talked for 20 or 30 minutes. She probably doesn't remember that conversation from 3 years ago, But this girl remembers that conversation from 3 years ago and how it stood out to me. And it made me decide at that moment how I wanted to be as a leader. And so at that moment, I drew my line in the sand and how I wanted to be as a leader to people on my team, and how when I go to future conventions that I want to be a leader like that, that always puts people first, regardless of whether they're on my team or not on my team. On my downline, not in my downline. I don't care. If I've got something that can help you, then hey, I'm going to give it to you. All right. And then the third thing that really made me draw my line in the sand and said, you know what, this is it. I'm putting my foot down. I say I love Plexus, but you know what? I'm going to start being the video, not just the audio. So you got to be the video all the time, not just preaching it. You got to be the video too. And so that third thing was Maui, because my whole upline, 4 people above me, they all went to Maui that year. I did not. I was sitting at home in Oklahoma watching them post pictures of all of them together, drinking their lava flows, having a good time. And I was like, that's it. Shannon McComber, you are going to be in Maui next year if it's the last thing you do. And so at that moment, I made a decision that what I was doing was not enough, because I don't care what you're doing right now. You can always do more. You can always be more, do more. So figure out what it is you got to do and do it. And so around that time, I found a quote, and I have lived by it ever since then. And this is what it is. And I want you to write this down because it will change your life, just like it did mine. I say it to my team probably on like every single training call we do. Never be apologetic for anything that has the power to change lives. I think we can all agree that what we have in our hands has the power to change lives. So you have no excuse to be apologetic for anything. I tell my people this: there are 2 things I will never apologize for in my life. The first one is my love for Christ. My second one is my belief in Plexus. And so you will probably hear about both. If we talk about either one, you're going to hear about the other. But never apologize for it, ever, because you have something that has the power to change lives. What if my upline had never stepped forward and said, Shannon, you need to do this. I'm telling you, this is going to change your life. What if she had never done that? Then the 3,000 people on my team probably maybe never would have heard about Plexus, never gotten into it. Look at Dawn, who's on this call. Oh my gosh, I sit and I watch Dawn and I could go into tears, because I'm telling you, people, what she's saying to you about her fear level, I'm telling you, it's the truth. She is not lying. This is not a show for this call. That was Dawn. She truly lived in fear. And so to see her get on here, I love you, Dawn. I'm so proud of you. But to see her on here and doing that, this is what Plexus is about, you guys. Draw your line in the sand, because all of us on this call have drawn our line in the sand at some point in our Plexus journey and said, you know what? I have something that's going to change people's lives, and we believe that. And that's what this falls to, is you saying, I'm not going to apologize anymore, because you know what? There are people out there and their lives need to be changed, and I'm the vessel that's going to do it. All right, now I'm going to switch it over to Stacy Hodge, who is my upline as well, and she is going to bring it to you guys now about goals. All right, thank you, Stacy.
Hey guys, I am in love with everything you guys have said. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to take notes and I'm trying to soak it all in. I'm in complete adoration of you guys. Kelly and the mindset, and Dawn and pushing past fears, Shannon talking about just drawing your line in the sand. Every bit of it describes my journey, which I think is just, it's all inspiring. Stacy Hodge, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. I have been with this company for a little over 5 years now. I joined solely to get my products at wholesale. I wanted zero to do with anything else. And I will tell you now, if someone had approached me in the beginning and said, Stacy, you need to do this. You can make XYZ amount of money, and all you have to do is this, I would have said no thank you, and probably would have never tried the products. I fell into this literally very mistakenly. Like, it was not on my radar at all. I was a family of 5. I was not interested in adding anything to my to my day. I worked a full-time job. We were very active in sports. We're very active in our church. Matter of fact, my husband is a youth pastor now, and we just have busy lives. I did not need anything to add to my plate. Plus, I just lived an exhausted, miserable, unhappy life inside of myself. I was happy with my husband. I was happy with my children, happy at the place that I was, but I was miserable inside my own body. I was uncomfortable with who I was, with the way I looked when I looked in the mirror. And I wanted something, and I had tried so many things. Nothing ever worked. Doctors and nutritionists, and I had done everything they said by the book, and I just couldn't lose the weight. I couldn't feel better. I couldn't get out of this funk that was just, over me from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. In comes Plexus. Literally, the very first day, it changed the way I felt. I didn't believe it. I said, it's a placebo effect. It's just, I want it to work so badly. I took it the next day. I felt even better. Took it the next day, felt even better. I signed up on Leap Day 2012. They had a special. I did my homework. I said, this is the easiest way for me to get my products at wholesale, because, we moms don't like to spend a lot of money on ourselves, right? I mean, seriously, we don't. We'll spend it on everybody else, but we won't spend it on ourselves. So I signed up to get my products at wholesale. Again, never wanting anything to do with this. Well, luckily, I was invited to a meeting, which I didn't really want to go to. And to be quite honest, my husband and I had gotten into a little disagreement that morning. And that's the only reason I decided to go, is because I wanted to get out of the house. So I went to a meeting. I remember there was quite a few people there, but I distinctly remember Allison Bro. She's a diamond upline now, but I didn't know who she was. But she told her story, showed us the size of her paycheck, and I mean, literally, my mouth dropped to the floor. I'm like, if this 25-year-old chick can do this, then I can do something. And literally that day, as Shannon said, I drew my line in the sand. That day, that moment at that meeting changed my life. I decided I will make $500 a month. And y'all, that was my first goal. My very first check with Plexus was $40. I didn't even know whether I was supposed to cash it or not. I didn't know why I even got a check in the mail. I was like, what is this for? All I did was order some stuff. Anyway, so I drew my line in the sand. I decided I would make $500 a month. And the next month I did. And I said, well, if I can make 5, I can make 1,000. And the next month I did. And it just kept going from there. It just kept getting better and better and better. And y'all, I don't work that outside job anymore. I'm a stay-at-home mama, entrepreneur, and I am so proud, just like they have said before me, that the way that this, not only this business, but the mindset, the culture, the products, the way they make you feel, the money coming in makes you feel good. I am a completely different person than I was 5 years ago. I am happy with who I am. I can look myself in the mirror and say, I love you. And I do. I mean it. I love myself. I love this business. I love these products. And I love the fact that I can change people's lives and I can get paid for it. I mean, wow, it's like, it's literally like living a dream. Okay, so, but what I'm here to talk to you about today is goal setting. We've got our minds right. We've drawn our line in the sand. Now we've got to set some goals. We've got to know how to move forward from here. First, we've got to decide what we're going to do. Just like I decided I was going to make $500 a month, you've got to decide what your goal is, and then we'll map out a way to work towards it. So consider what you want to achieve and then set SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, motivational, attainable, realistic, and they are time bound. We'll go into a little bit about each one of these. Your goals should be very specific. You want to know exactly what you want to achieve. So write it down. Your goal needs to motivate you to move. It needs to motivate you to take action. This is going to come in handy when you have a bad day. And yes, even though we're all blessed, we still do have bad days. It's not perfect every day. So you're going to need to remember this when you have a bad day. Your goal should be important to you. It should have value. Your goals should be attainable. Setting a goal to be diamond in 3 months is probably not likely going to happen. We've had some do it pretty quick. I think 9 months is probably the shortest, or 6 months, I think. But even that is just awe-inspiring. But your goals need to be realistic. And lastly, your goals should be time bound. You need to set a date, attach a date to each one of those goals. You want short-term goals and you want long-term goals, and you need to attach a date to that and be realistic. Attaching a date is going to help you stay on track. Write it down. You want to write it down in as much detail as possible. This is not just a vague, okay, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I want to do it by this date, and it doesn't really mean anything. Your goal really needs to mean something. Write it down in as much detail as you can. Don't leave anything out. Spend some time on this. When we were young, we used to daydream about what you would love to achieve. Do you want to achieve Maui? What would it feel like to take your family to Maui, to get off of that plane in Hawaii, feel the sand in your toes? Just what would it feel like? How would it make you feel on the inside? What is it going to mean to you? Where would you go? What would you do when you arrived at the destination? What bills would you pay off? What charity could you donate to? What does this freedom actually feel like? Spend some time, really think it through, and then write it down in as much detail as possible. Then you need to tell someone. Don't keep that to yourself. You need to share it. Find yourself an accountability partner. Mine just happens to be a Plexus ambassador, and she's on this call, my sister, Stephanie Maness, and she'll talk to you in just a minute too. But reaching out and telling somebody what your goals are, what your plans are, it makes it real. And not only that, it helps keep you accountable. So if you say it out loud and you tell someone, it increases the likelihood that you're going to reach that goals. And like I said, having a partner is extremely valuable. You hardly ever have a bad day on the same day. So, she can pick you up on the days that you need to be picked up, and you can do vice versa. Remember, do not skip this step. It is important. If the first person needs to be your spouse or just a good friend of yours, pick someone and make that person your accountability partner. Tell them about what you plan to do. And then next, we want to break down the goals into smaller steps. How do you eat an elephant? One small bite at a time. You do not have to focus on the largest goal that you have for yourself. Do not become overwhelmed with the goals that you want to achieve. Break it down into smaller steps, and then you'll know where to start. This is going to be the time you want to definitely involve your sponsor, to help you break down what those steps are and see where you need to begin. Plan your first step. Again, you're probably going to want to involve your sponsor here. And I'm looking at my notes so I can stay on key, y'all. I can really get off topic very quick. So, like I said, plan your first step, talk with your sponsor, and map out your plan of action. Exactly what do you need to do to start tracking your goals? We have some amazing tools at our fingertips thanks to our corporate team, y'all. Our corporate team works tirelessly to give us the things that we need to be effective people in the field. They want us to be successful. Our success is their success. So they have given us some very amazing tools to help us be successful. Your very first tool that you're going to want to put to use with Plexus is your success kit. When you joined, you purchased a welcome pack. That welcome pack comes with a success kit, and that success kit has everything you need to help you get off the ground and running. So look through that pack. Don't just toss it to the side. Look through there. It's got a cute little bracelet, but go further than the bracelet. You want to actually look and pull out that quick start guide. And then talk to your sponsor about it. The next step is to keep going. Becoming successful does not happen overnight. Like I said, we'll have bad days, but it takes willful diligence and a little bit of hard work to get you started and then on the road to being successful. So that hard work is going to pay off many, many times over if you just put it in the beginning. Getting started off right and getting started, quick as soon as you dive in is very important, I do believe. I tell people all the time, my worst day with Plexus is still better than my best day at any 8-to-5 job I've ever had before. Y'all, it pays off in more ways than just financially, I promise. Personally, like I said, I made more money after 1 year of working my Plexus business than I did 20 years in corporate accounting. That's saying a lot. And then the last thing I want you to do in your goal setting is celebrate. Don't forget to stop and celebrate every time you reach a new milestone, reach a new goal, no matter how small or how large it is. Take the time to celebrate. Your hard work is paying off, and you're going to keep excelling, you're going to keep growing, and you're going to keep going. Now that's all I have for you. I am introducing my sister, my Plexus partner in crime, as I call her, Stephanie Maness.
Hey guys, so hopefully y'all can hear me. I don't see. Okay, good. All right, guys, I'm Stephanie Maness. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I am super excited to be here. As many of you have already, if y'all are not excited like I am, I've already written lots of notes, and the back of my notes are now covered with y'all's notes. So thank y'all. So I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about IPAs, follow-ups, and relationships, because we are in a relationship marketing business. So I'm going to get right to it, because I've got quite a few notes that Stacy read over a couple of times, because she's my red personality and she does all the editing. And I'm the blue personality, and I don't know how to write anything. So if y'all don't know what all those are, go get the book and read that. It helps out a lot. So really, my journey began about 5 years ago with Plexus, and I am all over the page all the time. Okay, that's just where I am. So when Stacy first came to me with this, I was like, no. I ain't got no money for that, and I'm not getting in all that. But when she finally convinced me, 6 months later, guys, 6 months later, just letting y'all know, my first thing was, okay, yeah, I love it. It's great. Tastes good. Feel good. Hey, guess what? Second day, slept good. Guess what? Can't afford this. Can't afford it. I'm not taking any money out of my budget, my family's budget, which is extremely tight, to put towards just me, especially $100 a month. Not fixing to happen. And then Stacy said, well, let me tell you how, if you get a couple of people to do this with you, you can now get it, and get it free, get it paid for. Okay. So my husband and I agreed, first month I'd buy it, but I could never buy it after that. That's where I was. Okay. If I didn't figure out how to make the money and pay for it, it was not happening. And again, remember, I just said I was a blue personality. So I am all about fun, including others, and doing it for free or on someone else's dime. That makes me really happy. Okay. So I was all over that. So that's exactly what I did. I didn't have a story of my own to start with. I didn't wait to have a story, because remember, I got to have my products paid for. So guys, what did I do? I shared the stories that I knew. I have a sister that's been in it for 6 months and had an amazing story. I have a brother-in-law that's been in it the same amount of time. He had an amazing story. So and again, I had a Facebook page only because I needed to keep up with 2 teenage boys. That's it. It's the only reason I had it. So I had less than 100 friends, just so I could find out what they were doing and who they were doing it with. So less than 100 friends, and Stacy says that I need to be sharing this on Facebook. Like, with who? Who am I going to share it to? I live in a very small town that I am not from. And if you've ever moved to a small town and you're not from there, you may or may not know where I'm coming from, but my husband's from there. My kids grew up there, but I did not. So I do not fit in any social networking group in this area. I actually had to move my business of being a hairdresser 30 minutes away from home to get outside of that small town because nobody was coming to me because they don't know who I am and I'm not from there. True story. So I go on online garage sales. That's what I did. I went on online garage sales sites. If it was 75 miles from my house, I joined it. And if they said I could share Plexus on it, I shared every day. And then I friended every one of those people who commented or asked a question. And in 6 months, I had over 1,000 friends on Facebook. And I did it that way. But what I want to share with you, really want to share with you, is I was intentional about what I was doing. I didn't have a manual. No one told me what to do. But being a blue personality, I like meeting people, meeting friends. So I don't have a problem with that. I've been a hairdresser since I was 19. I can talk to pretty much anybody and any personality. For a little bit of time anyways. But I built relationships with these people outside of Facebook. So I met them on Facebook, but I would meet them in parking lots to get products or to discuss these things about the products, or I would go to birthday parties or events in the area, whatever it was, to build and strengthen those relationships. Because guys, this is relationship marketing. And if you're not good at relationships, it's time you're going to have to figure out a way. Work with your upline, work with your sideline, work with someone that is a blue personality and that does make friends easy, because it's super important building relationships. And that's one of the first things if you don't know what an IPA is, guys, income producing activities. Write it down, know it. When your upline comes to you and says, what are you doing? What are your IPAs a day? You need to know what that is. What does that look like? And relationships is going to be the first part of it. So in 6 months, guys, I had less than 100. I went to 1,000 friends. I had ranked up to gold ambassador at this time, and I was quickly moving. I believe right after that 6 month mark, I hit the senior gold, and I ran from there. But that was building relationships within the area that I was, and then expanding that all over the United States by using these online or what are they? Garage sales. There you go. Garage sales online. And all of that quick success, it really did. It pushed me to work on these income producing activities that I had no idea what I was doing, just that I needed to do them. So what are income producing activities, and what does that look like? Well, for most of you, if you guys are on here and you are pushing to gold, you should be, or getting close to being, a silver ambassador. You have 3 people on your team. That's pretty easy to work with those 3 people, build those relationships, reach out to them, and reaching out to new people. But guys, as your business begins to grow, you're going to gain momentum and have lots of people, and you're going to need to know where you need to focus your time. This is where the income producing activities are going to come in. And let me find my notes so I can go through there so y'all don't get lost in the process. So what should you be doing daily? And what is going to be the consistent building of your successful business? Truly, it shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to an hour a day. And yes, every one of you busy mamas, daddies, and whomever do have 30 minutes to an hour every day. You can find that. I promise you can. The main way I did is I figured out really quickly that with 3 kids at home, my husband's grandmother that lives with us, who is now 92 years old, blind and deaf, and I was working a full-time job, that the one thing that was not paying me a dime but was taking up a whole lot of my time was TV. And in 4.5 years, I have not sat down and watched a TV show because I decided that TV didn't pay me and Plexus did, and I would spend that time doing Plexus, period. So you have to figure out what is it that's not benefiting you, what is not helping you reach those goals, push you past those fears, and get you to wherever it is in success in life with Plexus that you're wanting to be. Okay, I'm not telling you to stop watching TV. It worked for me. I will occasionally watch a movie. That's it. Sorry, I got crazy stuff coming up on my screen. Okay, so then you need to be working within the 80-20 rule. This is across the board when we're talking about 80-20 It's across the board, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your social posting. 80% of your time should be spent on you, and 20% of your time be spent on others. Okay, we're going to talk about that as I'm going through. So what are IPAs? First, personally begin always with your business. Not answering questions, not spending time chit-chatting with your friends, because I can do that till 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I've got nothing else done, right? You've got to be reaching out to at least 3 to 5 people a day, period. And if you're doing this 30 minutes to an hour, 5 days a week, and I didn't say 7, guys, you got to give 2 days a week to your family, to your friends, to your church, to your whatever, okay? 5 days a week. If you're doing this and putting those business building activities first, you'll be successful. I promise you, there's probably none of these jewels on this call that don't do income producing business activities first, and reaching out and working their business first before they start answering their team's questions or whatever else comes up through your Facebook, okay, or social media account. So when I'm saying 3 to 5, these are 3 to 5 new people that you're going to be whether it's grocery, someone that you contacted, while you were at the park with your kids, whatever that is, okay? Those 3 to 5 people you're reaching out to and building relationships first, and then sharing Plexus organically, okay? I'm not saying go in there and reach out to all of them. Now, if you don't have anyone on your list, go get a Frank's list. Don't know what that is? Go to your back office, go in there and find the Frank's list and go through that and make your Frank's list. Surely by now you've got at least 100 people and your sponsor has told you to continue adding to that. Start with your Frank's list, 3 to 5 people every day. Now, I message a lot of them on Facebook, but also try to take that organically and do phone calls, one-on-one coffee meetings, whatever that looks like for you, okay? 3 to 5 a day. But be intentional with your contacts. And then next, you want to reach out and follow up. You've got 3 categories to be following up with, and those should be your ambassadors, your customers, and those potentials. Those that you've already reached out to, starting to build a relationship with and wanting to move into a customer or ambassador role, okay? And this should happen about 1 to 3 in each category every day. 1 to 3 of those contacts every day. And that will change as your team starts growing, okay? As you start growing and building and your team gets larger, that's going to have to change so that it fits into your 30 minutes to an hour time frame a day. And then, okay, where am I at? Number 3, and a few of y'all have already touched on this for me, and income producing activities is the learning and personal growth. I have to say this is probably one of the biggest things for me, because I absolutely do not recognize the girl I was 5 years ago when I started this journey. I am a completely different person. My mindset is different. I'm an extremely positive thinker. I've always been one of those that the cup was half full personalities in person, but now it is, I'm like so bad that my kids are like, Mama, stop. Everything does not have to have a positive spin. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Smile it all the way through. I don't care how bad it is. We can smile through it. Okay. Put a positive spin on everything. Mindset. Kelly's already talked about it. Lori's coming, guys. So I know she's going to give us some amazing tips on that. Mindset is huge. Personal growth. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes every day putting in some time in personal growth. Learning something new about the business. We've got YouTube videos. Corporate has got so much stuff in our back office. I know y'all haven't read all of it yet. Get in there and read some. 5 to 10 minutes a day. I don't read books. I never wanted to read a book. When Stacy first told me I needed to read a book, I was like, you've lost your mind. I'm not reading a book. I don't like that. But I did find Audible, and just about every book you can imagine is on there, and I can listen to it while I'm driving, running errands, taking Memo to the doctor, picking up a kid from whatever activity they got going on, whatever it is I'm doing. So 5 to 10 minutes a day is not a whole lot of time, but I promise you, you will be so happy at the person that you turn out to be when you put some time into you. I don't start my day or end my day that it's not with God and in spiritual in my devotionals, learning more. And I promise you, this journey, because of Plexus, my relationship with God is much more tenfold transformation because of Plexus and because of the journey. So start and end your day that way, and then put some time into the personal growth. It pays off huge. And then last, you're going to post on Facebook. And guys, I know y'all are already doing this already, and I'm not telling you anything, but what I want to tell you is please quit posting ads. Don't make your wall look like a sales. Oh, that drives me insane when I see these adsy, salesy posts on Facebook. Be personal. These people are choosing to join you. They are not buying, they're not just looking to buy a product and they don't want to be sold to. You know, we all have been at the car salesman before and want them to shut up and get out of our faces, right? So don't be that person. Quit posting like that. Don't do that. Don't go in looking for the best, next, quick, cute picture. Post personal. Post your story. Share you so that your wall looks like you. Make it reflect who you are. What is it that you love outside of Plexus? 80%, guys, needs to be personal. 20% about the business. Okay, and now at the very, very end of it, you can now go answer some questions from people on your team. Okay, that's all you're done with your IPAs for the day. It took you about an hour. So now I'm going to introduce the amazing Sapphire Ambassador, Debra McCutcheon, to share with you a little bit more about some consistency.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Y'all give me a thumbs up. Y'all can hear me okay? Good, good. Yeah, I am a very, very blessed Sapphire Ambassador. I'm thrilled. I'm humbled because I'm amongst all of these rock stars. I'm going to talk to y'all about consistency with your products, your business, and even yourself. And what better way, really, I love the topic flow here, is because you can have the right mindset. You can do the IPAs, you can have that belief, and you can really get that inspiration, but are you going to do it consistently? And that is the secret that I believe really is crucial when you gather all of this together on getting you to goal. So these three things I'm going to break down for you: consistency in your business, consistency with your products, and consistency in your personal growth. Now, let's talk about your products. We know they work, right? Amen. They are changing the lives of our families, our friends, our team. We also know that in order for them to work, you have to be consistent. 9 times out of 10, someone will come to me and they'll say, you know, Deborah, I tried it. It just didn't work for me. And my exact response is, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What was your regimen? Well, you know, I couldn't remember to take it every day. God forbid, I could not drink all that water every day. Okay, so 9 times out of 10, the inconsistency is what made them unsuccessful. The inconsistency of what they were doing. So when I talk to my ambassadors and I talk to my new customers, I tell them, look, are you committed to doing this every day? Let's commit for 6 months on these products. Let's see what this is going to do for you. You know, listening to my ambassadors and talking to them about their goals. If they want to be somewhere for convention, it's 6 months away. Okay, what are we going to do for 6 months consistently? So I think that's the buzzword, I believe, for all of our on the way to goals. And I believe that it's the strongest thing that you can do with all of these topics that we're covering tonight. So what you want to take your products and make sure that they work. Okay, you have to study them. You have to tweak them. You have to take them. Develop your product regimen. Stick to it. Set alarm reminders on your phone. Put your nighttime products by your bed. Remember, think about brushing your teeth. Most of the time, we don't forget to brush our teeth, right? It's become a habit. It's normal. It's abnormal to not brush your teeth. It should be abnormal to not take your products. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is working your business. Stephanie, beautiful Stephanie, talked about these IPAs, income producing activities. This is where your business is going to grow. This is where you're going to make your business grow with activity. You can talk about it all day long. You can have the mindset, but what is the action that you're going to take to get you to goals? You know, I've always said that if your mouth is not open, your business is closed. We have got to be reaching out to each and every one we know about the product's opportunity and about the business opportunity, and the life-changing effects that it can offer to the people that we know they need what we have. Listing your IPAs, sticking to them each day consistently, your business is going to grow. You've always heard this. You know, you can work your business full-time. You can work your business part-time, but you cannot work your business some of the time. Now, IPAs are our daily reminders of what we need to do to grow our business. Now, everybody's IPAs can be different, even with what Stephanie listed there. They all involve action. But let me tell you what some IPAs aren't, okay? Looking at your genealogy report and counting up your points. Scrolling through Facebook, stalking your pics on Instagram, and posting those bunny pictures on Snapchat, okay? They're fun, don't get me wrong, they are fun, but PV does not come from that, okay? Set aside that non-IPA time for your social media. Set that aside, but do that, like Stephanie said, after your income-producing activities. So IPAs really can be covered in doing two things. It's telling someone about the product opportunity or telling them about the business opportunity. That can be done by sharing samples, cold messaging, following up, even being consistent with posting on Facebook. You know, don't just post some of the time and then all of a sudden go MIA. Be consistent with your posting. And that doesn't mean constant Facebook posting. That means you can aim for non-Plexus information, share videos, articles, talk about your Plexus successes, talk about some of your struggles. Keep it real. Keep it real, I think, is the key to this. Working your business starts with you. Once you map out those IPAs, stay laser focused. Remember, guys, blinders on. You have a goal. You have a goal to get to gold. What are you going to do that's going to get you there? Now, another tip that I give to my gold runners, and really, I believe, again, a lot of the things that I teach is the things that I did wrong. So learn from this. Get to know your team now. You know, when you went silver, you had those 3 personally sponsored team members. You were just beginning to grow. Now that you're on your way to gold, you are building. You are cultivating. You're creating a team with duplicatable actions that's going to get them to your goals. Get to know them. What do they want? What drives them? What's going to make them work harder? What's their color personality? Love on them. But always remember that you have to keep on building. And when you look back, it's going to discourage you. When you look at those white lines, it's going to bring you down. Keep your eyes focused on your goal, and that is getting to gold. Now, the last consistency I'm going to talk about is your personal growth. It was a very long time before I realized the value of personal development, because honestly, I thought network marketing is just like the corporate world, you know, that I was in. I can just learn the business and work the business. But I was wrong. Once I embraced that we have to better ourselves so that we can better the relationships, that we can better, you know, the growth and even the team culture that we're trying to make. Once I embraced that, everything changed. Everything changed. Improving your team culture is not a business. It's personal and it's crucial, and you should be doing this now and not later. Remember, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. And we're teaching our team who we are. And that true duplication comes when we're constantly striving to be a better person. Okay, I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better wife. You know, I want to be a better listener. You know, I want to do that. I always use the hashtag always a student, because I'm constantly learning, and I want to embrace that there is so much more to learn. There's so much more to come. You know, I've done this for 6 years, guys. I started Plexus to get up off the couch, okay? I sat behind a desk all day, and I sat on the couch all evening. I started for reasons just to give me more energy. And in these 6 years of consistently sharing, hey, it's been different. I am not, just like Stephanie, I am not the person I was 6 years ago. Thank God. Thank God. Because I have grown. I've grown into this business. I've grown into this passion. And all of these life struggles that have happened in between, you know what? I know now that Plexus was preparing me for them. That these products and this business and all of these leaders that we're listening to and learning from and absorbing, they've brought me to where I am today. And I believe that personal development is key to that. Now, one tip too that I believe she shared as well. I'm not a good reader, okay? I just can't stop and shut down and just start to focus on reading. I do a lot of YouTube videos. I do a lot of audio books. In my car, there is no radio on. I've got them preloaded, and they're just constantly going. I like the fact that they'll come up with, they'll be in a continuous flow on the same topics or the same subscriber. So you're going to be listening to those videos. I do that in the car. That's one of my tips that I do, because I feel like I can do it over and over and over. Some of the things I'm talking to y'all about tonight, I learned from a YouTube video. So I think that that's your key. It's an easy thing to do. It's an easy thing to do. So I want to say again, we must be consistent in what we're doing so that we can be a better leader, and so that we can be a better person for our teams. They deserve that from us. They deserve that. You know, I worked at a job for 14 years. I believe my drawing my line in the sand moment came. I was sitting on my lunch hour in my car, parked facing the building, and I didn't want to go back in. I was just petrified. I was like, I don't want to go back and do this. You know, working 50 hours plus, driving 45 minutes each way. So I was able, Plexus allowed me this ability to walk away from that job, and I'll never look back. I'll never look back. So working this business from home has been my passion. It has been my dream. I've been able to do this through so many different things in the last 6 years, and I'm forever grateful. So I want one last message for y'all. For those of you going for gold, you are right on the cusp of having that strong, committed, spirited team. And, you know, I've always believed that the gap between silver and gold is a very big one. It's a very big one. But during this journey to gold, you can become a stronger leader. You can become a more passionate and involved leader in creating that team culture. And when you start to build your team this way, it will be easily duplicated. Do it now. So being consistent with your business, sing it from the rooftops, being consistent with your personal development, and becoming the kind of leader that I believe that your team deserves. So thank y'all for listening to me. I am thrilled to introduce our very next speaker. She is the beautiful diamond and my favorite butterfly gal, Lori Harrison. You take it away, babe.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. Good evening, guys. I found out that we were doing this, and I picked my topic. As soon as I saw that the topic of inspiration hadn't been grabbed yet, I grabbed it, and then I realized I was going to be toward the end, and I got nervous because I thought, everybody will have taken up all the cool inspirational stuff, and I won't have anything to say. So I knew this ahead of time. So instead, what I did, it will be inspirational, but I made a bossy list. I made a list of things that you can do that will inspire action toward inspire action toward inspiring yourself. I'm one of those people that's hot in inspiration, like always inspired. I always fill my tank up because I have to, because I'm not a red. They were talking about the color personalities earlier, and so I'm not motivated by, I guess I should say, I'm probably not as motivated by success as I wish that I could be. So I'm motivated by external things. I find things to motivate me. So this is a perfect topic for me to share with you, regardless of your color type. So hopefully we'll end this evening with your inspiration and belief at an all-time high. The first thing I want to talk to you about tonight is you have to have a powerful why behind why you do the business. And I know someone already spoke about this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into the bossiness part. When I first heard the concept of a powerful why, I remembered thinking to myself, I have a pretty powerful why, but I don't know how to convey that to people if they don't. I don't know how to express what that means to someone who doesn't naturally come into this business with a powerful why. But what I've found is what inspires most people is testimonies. If you don't have a powerful testimony yourself, you need to read and look for testimonies that are inspiring, and ultimately be looking for testimonies within your own customers' ambassadors. Because there's nothing more powerful to motivate you to keep going than to know how much you've impacted someone's life. And that can be anything from their health journey all the way to their financial journey. So your why doesn't have to be specifically testimony driven in regards to the products. But testimonies are huge. And if you have to start off reading other people's testimonies, that's a big thing. Another thing is to watch diamond documentaries. For some reason, watching diamond documentaries can inspire you to a place where you actually can create a powerful why for yourself, because sometimes you can watch a diamond documentary and see something that it's like you see a mirror in someone as they're telling their story. You think, oh my gosh, that's like me. That sounds a lot like my story. And then as you're looking at their journey unfold in the diamond documentary, you can see the possibilities for yourself, and that can help you create a powerful why. So I've got A, testimonies, B, to watch diamond documentaries. C, watch, there's a Simon Sinek, or Sinek, he says it's Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, TED video. So if you go to TED.com, about how great leaders inspire action. And it talks all about the powerful, the power of your why, basically. I could literally do my entire talk tonight on that particular video, but it'd be way better if you just go watch it. Also, here's a big one. And this is what I find that the majority, you hear statistics about network marketing, and they're kind of like depressing statistics, because you find out a small percentage of people ever make it to the top. And now this is with network marketing in general, not necessarily Plexus. And that, the majority, the huge, great, big percentage is people that will never make it to the top. And when you learn that statistic, it can be sad. But what I have found about the large statistic, I've learned this over time, is that many people struggle with the idea of success. Some people feel guilty for success. They feel guilty for achieving more. And if they don't feel guilty enough, a lot of times their friends and family will help them with this, help them to feel guilty. And so what I've determined is, if you struggle with the idea of success, and you need to be spoon-fed in the beginning, because eventually you'll get over it. After so long, you'll make a paycheck and you'll be like, you know what, boo, I don't care what you think. But before you get to the boo part, you may have to be in that place of make your goal to be an extraordinary giver. That way you don't have to feel like you're all self-centered, that you're all about yourself at all. And instead you can say, I would love to be able, when it comes time for Christmas, I would love to be able to pluck 10 of those angels off the tree and bless those families extraordinarily. I mean, there's no feeling like it. Literally, there's no feeling like it in the world than to be in a position to where you're like, well, all my needs are easily met, and now I can help meet the needs of others. So for most people, still we're talking about your why, but for most people to focus on others, have an others-based focus is probably the smartest thing that you can do. And also, I would encourage you to share this with your new team members, because when you think about the fact that a huge percentage of people will never make it in network marketing, and since I think that's the number one reason is that people struggle with the idea of success, that you can help your team immediately to overcome that mindset. Number one was your why. Number two is to stop blaming. Stop operating out of negative emotion, which would be fear, comparison, doubt, shame, guilt, unforgiveness. Every time that you are wanting to operate and flow in the juju of the blessing, and you are instead emanating negative emotion, the blessing flow cannot happen. It cannot come to you because you've put up this protective shield. Defensive people, how they have a wall up, they won't let people in, and therefore they won't let blessings come in. People feel it off of you. There's actually major science about the field of energy that your heart puts out. So regardless if you think that you have your facial expressions controlled, and let's say you're in the presence of someone you don't care for very much, but you have everything in check. You're smiling, you're radiating graciousness, whatever. But the fact is, people can feel your heart's energy, and the longer you operate from a place of negative emotion, it's like the blessing is trying to flow on you, and it just can't do it because you are blocking the blessing flow. Okay. Number three, by the way, if you need negative emotion list, just begin writing down all the ways that you don't want people to treat your kids. If you don't want them to be unforgiving, you don't want them to blame, you don't want them to have fear and comparison, all these things, those are negative emotions. And you need to, well, there are all kinds of strategies to overcome this. The first one I can think of is prayer. Get into that in a minute. Number 3, watch your mouth. Power of life and death is in your tongue. As you are working your business and you say something is too hard, as you are walking through your marriage and you say, this is never going to work, he's so disrespectful, or as you're talking about your kids and you say, they just don't get it. I'm raising the most, chaotic crew in the world. I can't believe that we can't get our act together. I want you to understand that when people talk about cuss words, cursing, that is what I think of. When I think of cussing or cursing yourself, I think of the words like can't, won't, I'm not able to, I'm not smart enough, I'm not able, all of these things. And the power of life and death is in your tongue. If you truly knew the power that your tongue has, you would put a harness on it and you would never speak death over yourself again. If it manifested as quickly as I actually believe it does, I actually believe that it manifests in the spirit realm. The minute you say, I'm not smart enough, it manifests somewhere in the spirit realm and you don't see the actual product of it for a while. But if you continue with the negative flow of the things that you say about yourself and the things that you say about your business, you're cursing yourself. Have I already spoken for a long, long time? Okay, I'm almost finished. Eek. Okay. Action creates motivation. The simplicity of the power of 3. It would be so great if motivation created action, because you think, one of these days I'm going to get motivated, I'm going to clean this house. But the truth is, if you get your butt up and start cleaning the house, motivation comes. Big lesson there. Like I kept waiting for motivation to light on me like a fairy or a butterfly, and so that I'd have it and I'd be able to do things that I wanted to do. It's the opposite. Action creates motivation. You have to do a little bit in the beginning, clean your sink or whatever, that kind of thing for your business. So I'm metaphorically speaking here. You need to get on the phone and talk to 3 people, and that creates the motivation. The power of 3 is the simplicity of the business. If you can go silver each month and train your team to do the same, that is the road to diamond. If you're making it any harder than that, you're just creating more difficulty than you need to. Let's see. The last thing I want to talk to you about, because I'm going to skip some things here, is what is actually known scientifically as heart coherence. But you hear me frequently refer to it as gratitude. Operating from a place of, and this is something I've spoken about gratitude for a long time now, but just this week I learned that if there's something in your life that you curse, let's say you don't like the way your hips are shaped or you don't like your gut, and you're constantly worried about that and you're constantly thinking negative emotion about it, switching your mindset, and this was powerful for me, switching my mindset to that of acceptance, not that I want to stay there, but acceptance, like I'm going to accept this, I'm going to quit blaming it for, why my jeans don't fit, and instead I'm going to be gracious and have gratitude for the fact that it was because of that I found Plexus. Had I not been walking around feeling like a cow, I would have never listened to anything anybody said about Plexus. I would have never been motivated to try this in the first place, and we would still be in the financial burdens, and I would still be grief-stricken and moody and have allergies and all the other things that I couldn't deal with back then. And so instead of everything that you try to, kick and scream at in your life, if you will find a reason to even be grateful for those things, it's in those moments that those things begin to release, because the lesson that they were meant to bring into your life has been learned. I mean, it's like the great scheme of the universe. Isn't that the coolest thing in the world? And the last thing is to pray over your team daily. I know many of my team members on a one-on-one basis, but many of them I don't. But I still just speak blessings. I look over my level 1s and I just speak blessings over them. I print them out. This is a huge thing. I will make a video more about heart coherence and gratitude and stick it in that group, because I was going to go over that with you guys tonight, but I'm going to move on. But I've said but 5 times. I'm talking as fast as my Southern twang will let me talk too. So anyway, I hope you guys are leaving here inspired tonight. But before you go, I have to introduce to you Mr. Dave Walker. He is a field development coach for Plexus, and I'm hoping he will light an even further fire under all of you guys tonight. Dave, we're going to turn it over to you.
Unmute yourself, Dave. You're here. Dave, you're here. We can see you. We just need you to unmute yourself.
There it is. Hi, everybody.
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Man, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Like she said, my name's Dave Walker. I'm a field development coach and have the privilege and blessing of being able to partner with our senior Rubies and Jewels from your area. So thanks so much for taking some time out of your evening tonight to join us. I truly am, am humbled to be on a lineup like this. What an amazing lineup. Just wow, wow, wow. I'm inspired. I'm thinking about how I'm going to go silver this month, not how I'm going to get back on the phones tomorrow. I mean, Kelly, amazing job. So inspiring. Dawn, Iowa in the house. What? Woo! From Nebraska, it's close enough. So we'll put those small towns on the map. Shannon, I love that quote about never apologizing for sharing something that could help somebody. Stacy, I was really touched by your portion a couple times. I mean, when you said that and tell yourself that you loved yourself again, really inspiring stuff. I'm proud of you. Tonight was an incredible, story and lineup. I'm proud of you, girl. The goals talk was incredible. I think it's important to remember you don't hit every goal, right? And if you are, we need to set the bar a little higher and just be persistent. Stephanie, IPA follow-up, you're hilarious. Awesome information. I love that you want to, that you talk about being intentional. Deborah, then consistency. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have pages and pages of notes, so I really feel, humbled and honored to have been able to join a panel like this one. And kind of like Lori, I saw the list of the topics and then saw that I was going to go last, and I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? Right. But so I wanted to share with you guys, first and foremost, again, how great and how lucky we all are to be in the presence of these leaders and to be able to soak up their information and their love and encouragement, and I'm sure that some of them, look back to their journey between silver and gold, how impactful an event like this could have been on them then. So really cool that they, put this together. What I want to share with you guys is that the field is doing such awesome stuff that we're expanding in our corporate office. We are growing out of our shoes with you guys. So it's so cool to see the vision of legacy company that you hear our executives talk about, unfolding right before your eyes. We're like a wall's coming down and they're building, and there's construction right on the other side of my desk, so that we can have more employees to support the field, because as the field grows, we have to as well. And I really feel like, with this last convention, it was my first convention. And I talked to so many people that were like, oh man, it's my third or my fourth. And every year I think to myself as I'm leaving, oh, there's no way they can top this. And then they come back the next year and it's above and beyond. This was my first. I was really, really inspired by it. So I feel like they are setting the bar, not just for our competitors, but for multi-level marketing. So I'm super proud to say that I get to go to work for them on an everyday basis, and that I get to work with you all. So, I just wanted to share real quick, the growth that's taking on within our office behind the scenes, as there's, countless people working tirelessly to put that new back office together, to test it to the moon and back, to develop these new tools, and in the lab, developing new products. Like, I mean, it's just so incredible to be there on site and to see it unfolding little by little. And I remind myself that, even as an organization of our size grows, it's little by little that we do so. It's not like I go in every day and something huge and monumental is happening. It's little by little. And like Stacy said, right, to set a goal and then to break it down. Okay, so we know the goal is X, Y, and Z. Well, we need to do this every day, like Debra said, consistently in order to hit the goal by this date. To see that put in place, it's just inspiring. I'm so, I can't explain to you how I wake up in the morning and I jump out of bed and I know I get to go to work and connect with people like the people that you're hearing from tonight. So I want to touch on Leaders Retreat, right? We wrapped up our convention this year, such an amazing event, by sharing with everybody that we're headed back to Orlando for Leaders Retreat this October. So, I want to share with you guys that leaders are made at these events. We heard from more than one person tonight in this panel that talked about that one of their aha moments taking place at an event like this, right? So I want you guys to get excited. And as I started to think about how I was going to touch on Leaders Retreat, I said, this lineup and the topics is perfect for this, right? I want you to get excited. I want you to set your mindset. Thank you, Kelly. Amazing job, right? I want you to push past your fears, right? The fear of failure or the fear of success, whichever one it is. I want you to push past that, right? I want you to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to draw a line in the sand with my team, right? I want you to set the goal we just did, right? Do the work, IPA follow-up, do it consistently, and then be inspiring, but to your team, take good care of yourselves, right? Let's put our toes in the sand together. I want to go to Leaders Retreat with so many of the people on this call. You can do it. So, Stacy, Debra, everybody, thanks so much for inviting me on this call. I truly feel inspired, and I know that I'm going to be going to work on, as much as I can to be best prepared for tomorrow. Thank you. Good night, everybody. I hope you have an amazing evening, and I can't wait to put my toes in the sand with you.
Thank you so much, Dave. You are so awesome. I am blessed to have you as my coach and to get to connect with you a couple of times a month. Our talk today was just great. That's just our Jewel Coaches it's just another thing that our company does for us because they want us to have everything that we need. They want us to be successful. And, they give us the power to reach for our goals, and they give us something more to reach for every year. Mind blowing. I want to be in Orlando. I want all of you to be in Orlando with me for Leaders Retreat. It doesn't matter if you just joined today. You can make it to Leaders Retreat. There were plenty of silvers at the last year's Leaders Retreat. So you can earn this trip. It's an amazing trip. Possibly go to Orlando. You've never traveled until you've traveled with Plexus. Y'all trust me on this. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It is in October. So set your goals, set your sight gold, and also set your sights on Leaders Retreat. Get with your sponsor, find out what it takes to get there, and then let's go together. I'm with Dave. I want to go to Orlando, and I want to be there with you. I appreciate every one of our presenters tonight for taking the time out of your evening to pour into us and our teams. And we just appreciate all of you and everything that you do. And every one of you are just such a beautiful part of my life. And that's one thing that we did not mention tonight, that the money's great, the trips are great, the products are great, the company is phenomenal, but the relationships that I have forged with people that I never would have met before is absolutely my favorite part of this. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite part. I never in a million years thought, that I could have this many people that I truly call my friends. I love you all. We are definitely one Plexus. I love the way we work together and pour into each other. I appreciate you all being on with me tonight. So we've got our goals set. Now we know how to hit those goals. We know how to make it happen. I want you to write it down, draw your line in the sand, and I want us to be together in Orlando in October. I love you guys. I appreciate you spending your time with us tonight. God bless and go Plexus. Good night, everybody.